Have you ever wondered what happens when you push someone too far? What if that someone was trained by the most elite fighting force on the planet? This is the story of Sarah, a woman whose quiet life hid a past forged in the crucible of Navy SEAL training. It's a story that proves you should never, ever underestimate a person, because you have no idea what they're truly capable of. Our story begins in a sleepy, remote town nestled in the mountains. Sarah had moved there seeking peace, a stark contrast to the life she had left behind. To her new neighbors, she was just a friendly but reserved woman who ran the local bookstore. She was kind, kept to herself, and seemed to enjoy the simple rhythm of small-town life. No one suspected that beneath her calm exterior was a warrior, a woman who had endured some of the most grueling physical and mental challenges known to man. But the past has a funny way of catching up with you, no matter how far you run. One rainy afternoon, a black SUV with tinted windows rolled into town. The men inside weren't tourists. They were professionals, sent by a powerful and shadowy organization from Sarah's former life. They thought they were hunting a ghost, a loose end that needed to be tied up. They had a file on her, but it was incomplete. It told them where to find her, but it failed to mention the most crucial detail. Sarah wasn't just a target, she was a predator. The men started their surveillance, subtle at first. A new face at the diner, a car parked just a little too long down the street. But Sarah noticed everything. Her training had honed her senses to a razor's edge. She saw the patterns, the slight anomalies in her predictable world. The way a man held his newspaper a little too high, the glint of a lens from a window across the street. For them, it was a job. For her, it was a return to a world she thought she had escaped. The quiet life was over. The hunt had begun. Instead of panicking, a cold, familiar calm washed over her. They thought they had her cornered, that she was just a civilian, an easy target. They were about to learn a lesson taught in the unforgiving training grounds of Coronado. The first rule of engaging a SEAL is simple. Don't. These men were about to break that rule. Sarah wasn't going to run. She wasn't going to hide. Navy SEALs never retreat. They adapt, they overcome, and they attack. The first move was hers. She began to subtly alter her routines, creating false patterns to mislead her observers. She used the town's geography to her advantage. The winding mountain roads and dense forests she knew like the back of her hand. She was no longer the prey. She was setting a trap. The men following her were good, but they were operating in her world now, playing by her rules. One of the pursuers, a man named Marcus, was the team leader. He was arrogant, confident in his skills. He made the first mistake. He decided to break into her house while she was supposedly at the bookstore, looking for information, something to give them leverage. He bypassed the simple lock on her back door, feeling a sense of smug satisfaction. But as he stepped inside, he felt a sudden tension in the air. The house was too quiet, too still. That's when he noticed the tripwire, a thin piece of fishing line connected to a stack of books on a high shelf. It was amateurish, almost laughable. He disabled it with a smirk. But that was the first layer of the trap. As he moved deeper into the house, he failed to notice the slight disturbance in the floorboards. The almost invisible pressure plates Sarah had rigged. He was so focused on looking for sophisticated threats that he missed the simple, effective ones. Sarah, meanwhile, was not at the bookstore. She was watching her own house from a wooded ridge overlooking the property, a pair of binoculars in hand. She watched Marcus enter, and she saw his partner, stationed as a lookout in the car. She had already disabled their vehicle, a simple cut to the brake line that would go unnoticed until it was too late. She was dismantling their operation piece by piece, with the cold, calculated precision she had been taught. Back in the house, Marcus realized his mistake. The pressure plate triggered a loud alarm, not a police alarm, but a blaring air horn that disoriented him. Simultaneously, a hidden mechanism released a cloud of dense, non-toxic smoke, filling the small house in seconds. This is the essence of SEAL training. It's not just about brute force. It's about using your environment, your intellect, and your opponent's expectations against them. Sarah wasn't just fighting them. She was playing chess, and she was 10 moves ahead. Her partner, the lookout, heard the alarm and tried to start the car, but it wouldn't move. Panic began to set in. They had walked into a spider's web. Sarah descended from the ridge, moving with a silence that defied the rustling leaves on the forest floor. She approached the lookout side of the car, tapping gently on the window. He reached for his weapon, but it was too late. In a blur of motion, Sarah had disarmed him and had him in a restraining hold before he could even process what was happening. There was no struggle, just a swift, efficient neutralization. With one man secured and the other trapped, Sarah got on their radio. Using a voice scrambler, she calmly reported a false update to their handler, telling them the target was secured and they were heading to a secondary extraction point. She was now controlling their communication, feeding them misinformation and buying herself precious time. She then dealt with Marcus. She let the smoke clear and entered the house, not as a victim, but as the one in total control. Marcus, a seasoned professional, was now humbled, his confidence shattered. He saw the woman he was sent to capture, and for the first time, he understood the true meaning of the file's missing information. He wasn't hunting a retired librarian, he was hunting a warrior. Sarah didn't harm them. That wasn't her goal. Her goal was to send a message. She gathered the two men, stripped them of their weapons and communication devices, and left them tied up for the local sheriff to find with an anonymous tip. But before she left, she looked Marcus in the eye and said, "Tell him to stop. Tell them the ghost they're hunting is now hunting them. This is your only warning." Then, just as quickly as she had appeared, she vanished, not to run, but to regroup, to prepare for the next phase. She knew this was just the beginning. The organization she had crossed would not give up so easily, but they were no longer dealing with a woman in hiding. They had awakened the seal. This story is a powerful reminder that true strength isn't always visible. It's in the quiet resolve, the unyielding spirit, and the training that turns an ordinary person into an extraordinary force. Sarah's story is far from over. She took the fight to them, turning from the hunted to the hunter. She proved that you can try to track someone down, but when that someone is a Navy SEAL, you'll learn one simple, unbreakable rule. They never, ever retreat. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Let us know in the comments what you think Sarah should do next. See you in the next video.